My God, we are. I feel like this happens too much. I feel like I'm in a situation where I record something months, many of months after we initially started it, and we have to take a long break in between. And I am sorry. I am sorry about that. It happens too much. I personally have to be better to avoid that. Like, damn, if you're going to take a break in between, finish the damn thing and then do it, right? That's how I feel, at least. I feel, if I feel that way, it's bad. I don't like this. I don't like having to take this break. I feel like I do a disservice to the series itself. I feel like I do you guys wrong too. And I can't remember things properly when we talk about them in the discussion. I overlook things. I see things wrong. I just predict things wrong. All because I decided to take a few months because I can't get my life on track, right? But here we are. Whatever. We are here. We move past that. We look away from it and we move forward into hopefully a new beginning, hopefully a consistent schedule, hopefully the conclusion of what is available to watch of a series that isn't concluded to my knowledge. Yeah, once again, sorry about that. There's a bunch I think actually I gotta touch on and we gotta talk about. I don't know, where do we want to start with it? Let's say, I guess we'll talk about the break, the reasons for taking so long. I'm regretting even talking about it because I have to do it in two other series, but we'll talk about it a little bit just because I want to get things a little bit across, not that anybody even cares, but if you do care, here you are for it. One, life in general just sometimes goes places and you lose a little steam. You don't really want to sit down and do this sort of thing. You got other things, priorities, you got kind of things that you're trying to enjoy and are really consuming you at the moment. And one thing leads to another and time just slowly passes. And, it's one of those things that happened here. Unfortunately, found ourselves in the middle of a series, couple episodes in. I mean, damn, the last time we recorded this, I didn't have any hair, it's crazy. It's crazy what a couple months will do. But yeah, overall, I just felt like it was best for me to take things slow, stop, not really focus as much on doing certain series. And then at the time we had a couple seasonal things we were in the middle of watching, and I was like, yeah, we should probably get to finishing those first. Logic behind those, to be transparent, is simply if you look at the amount of traction that certain series have, especially if they're not maybe the most popular, if they're not like groundbreaking and bringing like new people into actually watching anime or something, or like going into like a different genre and stuff, if they're not like huge like that, which last season and the ones I was watching really didn't have anything like that, views for them are typically going to drop a lot. And I don't particularly care if I'm recording something and I'm really enjoying it and if people are watching it or not, but at the same time, I'm realistic enough to know that if I'm going to try and grow this thing any sort of bit, I have to have like some sort of structure of the way that I approach everything. And the idea behind it is certain videos are getting certain amount of views, whereas I look at something like Madoka, which has, come out 10 plus years ago, and it's still doing better than any of the other things I'm doing. So if I take 2 months off from that and come back, you guys are still going to be here. Whoever came here for this are still going to end up staying around and probably watching it. Maybe a few of you won't, but for the most part, a lot of you kind of will. So if you were doing something weekly and if that wasn't really dragging in like fans of that series to come in and maybe they just saw one of the first few episodes and watched it from it, I think the seasonal stuff dies out a lot quicker. So you have to capitalize on it a little bit better. That's why I always tell whenever like my friends are trying to do something, it's the first day of a season or like an episode, I'm like, it's the first day of the season. I cannot do anything tonight, because those are the most important days for me, at least, to sit down, watch something, record it, and get it up. That's when I have the best ability at being able to get people to come in and watch. So my logic behind it was, here we go. We got seasonal stuff that maybe is doing all right, but if we're going to get these same sort of views or anything even remotely close, we have to capitalize on it and we have to approach it where we target this first to do it as close to the end date as I possibly can without taking months on end, because that's happened before. We took a few other series and we took months on end off, and then we come back and uploaded like the last couple episodes or last batch of them or whatever I ended up doing. And those are, you can go look, they literally are some of the lowest views that I have on anything. And those series themselves, maybe some of them didn't have the worst views going for them. So it's just like a timing thing on a lot of those series that you really need to capitalize on. So that was the idea behind, let's go with those first. Now I have finally finished all of those, which took me longer than expected, which mainly just came down to general, like, not real interest in mainly one, but like overall between all the series, I guess we were watching, where I wasn't waking up each day and getting ready and being like, I'm excited to go watch this right now. I am excited to to go talk about this. I want to record this. I want to edit this. And I didn't have that feeling, which kind of made me feel like I can't move on to anything else because I already promised myself and all you guys I would get that stuff done first. So I can't go watch something like Madoka, which is what I really wanted to go watch, right? I can't go do that and then just like go back on my word. It's just not what I wanted to do. So here we are, finally being able to bring myself to get that stuff done, be able to get that all uploaded, and now we can sit down and do it. The plan is to have these uploaded every Monday for the foreseeable future. Maybe at one point we can get a couple out per week, like 2, but ideally like that would be the case, but I just have to be safe with like not over stressing myself on what we're doing, and I that's as honest as I can be with that. Like I don't want to promise I'm going to get multiple out a week and we can only do one, or I end up like over stressing myself and thinking like, I'm not actually capable of doing it, and then I just don't want to do it anymore, and then I fall back, and then we take months on end to be able to get anything up again, you know, like, and I don't want that to happen. So my best promise can be I got you once a week. I think I can promise as much as sit down once a week and do it, you know, and if we get more, we get more, but if not, we don't. So I guess that's that behind it. What else has been going on? Back in the end of August, so a little bit after we ended up doing this, I went to Anime NYC. And when I was at Anime NYC, I ended up having the great luxury of going to a panel and seeing Miss Chiwa Saito at the panel, who, in case some of you aren't familiar, at least with just her name, the voice actress of Homura. And she was there and just talked about her life and a whole bunch of things. And it was really great. And she was absolute joy to see, had so much energy, and she was very fun to watch. I had the luxury of watching her perform some voice lines from a couple of the different things she did. And one of them ended up being with Homura. Now, I don't know what she was saying because I don't speak the language and they didn't put any like subtitles or visuals. She was just kind of doing some lines, but they sounded great, and it was really fun and nice to know that it was something I was kind of in the middle of, be able to witness and see right in front of us at the same time. And I thought that was really sick, and I was excited to be able to. As soon as I saw that, I had the mentality of we're coming back. She sparked the energy in me, and I'm going to be excited to watch this as soon as I had the chance to. Like at the end of August, that didn't happen, and here we are in the middle of October, but end of October, I guess, by the time you guys see this. So yeah, not so great on that one, but that was a really fun experience, and I'm very happy to have been able to see that. I do wish, you know, I probably finished this because I would have been able to appreciate it a little bit more at the time, but it is what it is. Did some other voices from some other characters I'm familiar with as well. Yona from Yona the Dawn being one of them, Senju Gahara being another one from the Monogatari series. So there's some good stuff in there, I think, as well, that it was just really fun to be able to see. I don't think I have anything else to add on from my little journey away. I am very excited to be back here, especially watching this, especially watching any of the series that are older. I'm having a blast with this one with Lane and Dragon Maid, so I'm thrilled to be able to mainly put a lot of focus directly on these, and the seasonals we're in the middle of right now are really interesting and fun so far for me too. So like we're in a really good spot where hopefully I don't think that means I'm going to burn myself out of being like I really just want other things to watch, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, it's been a while, so I would like to, you know, say I'm sorry if I don't remember everything at its fullest, if I don't remember certain details, if I misremember names or something. I think I got a good grasp of what's going on. I think I'm still kind of there, but fill me in if I'm a little off on some things, please, and, you know, be gentle with me. I don't mean any harm. I really just don't have it in me to sit down and watch like 5 episodes in a sitting and re-get myself back up. I know it's not a lot, but I'm at that point in my anime journey where like it's hard for me to sit and binge things. Like it just is at this point. So I'm sorry about that. Maybe I can revive that at some point. I get a spark like once every like 5 months for it, and I did it a couple months ago when we went back and rewatched all the episodes of Beyond the Boundary so I could finish out the series. But I ain't got nothing for you here. I can't do it right now. So I am sorry about that. But I think like I said, I think we're in a good spot. We got Kyoko, who has now shown up trying to take over the domain essentially of where Sayaka is kind of roaming, because she's just weird. I don't really think, if I remember, there's like a real reason besides she's just trying to take over and she wants it for herself. There's a bunch of stuff going on with what the intentions of all the magical girls kind of are and what they're contracted for and their purpose and what Kyubey and everybody is trying to do, which we've gone in little bits of detail here and there about that, but it still kind of remains to be like really told to us exactly what it is, so we're just speculating still up to this point. But we're in the middle of a battle from what I last remembered. I am a little nervous that things are going to happen with Sayaka. They did a good job at what they did with Mami that now like relates directly to this and showcases we can actually kill off characters if we want to, which I think is a really excellent thing, because then it makes the stakes even higher here, where I don't know what's going to happen with Sayaka. So I'm a little worried about that, because I enjoy her a lot. She's been probably my favorite on screen up to this point. We'll have to see, how the characters develop, but I'm really enjoying her when she's on screen. So we'll end up seeing. I am thrilled to be here and back for this once again. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Leave any comments about this series, this episode. Catch me back up to speed if there's anything you notice that I'm a little off on or thinking in the wrong sort of way. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe if you want to me. Feel free to stick around for our discussion. Leave any comments with this particular series. Let's get going once again, finally, for the first time in what feels like forever, with episode 6 of Madoka Magica. We're already right back into it. Ah, yes, Homura did come in. Forgot about that completely. We're good. She broke things up. So graceful. Power levels are so different. She wants no smoke with Homura, huh? I'm on the side of chaos. Oh, how do you know, Miss Time Traveler yourself? She knows her limits. All right, respectable. How many times must I tell you to get it into that big ass head of yours? So you don't know? Whoa, okay, hold on. So okay. They're not contracted, but I assumed, like, I made the assumption that there was, like, a knowledge of what's occurring, and Kyubey's pulling strings to go, okay, weird. Huh. Cleanse it. You can live. What the heck? You can just do that? Okay.
また次にソウルジェムを浄化するためには早く新しいグリーフシードを手に入れないとソウルジェムには汚れがたまるんだ。さやか、君がグリーフシードを集められない限り京子と戦っても勝ち目はないと思っていい。なんだかな。
There's like a direct
十分なグリーフシードを持ってたわけじゃないんで
it's
す。
like a moral thing.
でもちゃんと戦えてたよね。
Ooh, that's fair.
才能の違いとかあるの。
Based through the wish? Or did you just have the potential yourself? Why was I born like this?
京子は素質がある上にベテランだし、逆に全く経験がなくても才能だけで京子以上の
There's one with pink hair that you're friends with.
要まどかさん。
She just don't know it yet.
それ本当？
Is this all a manipulation tactic to push her in?
対抗する戦力が欲しいなら、いっそまどかに頼んでみるのも手だよ。彼女が
It is. You're pushing it. Ah. I can't impact her decision. Right. Right. I love Sayaka. She's so great. Unless she starts switching later and pushing her, then we're gonna have to go against her. Right now, I love her. We love our red hair menaces. Just dancing to the OP. This is, I'm working on this.
ほっときゃまた突っかかってくるよ。なるべく穏便に済ませたい。
I don't think you're capable of that. Yeah, let Homer would do that.
まだ肝心なところを聞いてない。あんた何者だ？
Yeah, answer some questions first.
この町にワルプルギスの夜が来る。
The who? The what?
なぜわかる？それは秘密。ともかく、そいつさえ倒せたら、私はこの町を出ていく。ワルプルギスの夜ね。
I'm gonna have to pause that and read what the fuck that's.
大掛かりなら勝てるかもな。
Yeah, why don't we just work together to do that? I'm in. I feel like that goes against what she wants, though. But it could work.
先にあの子ともう一度会って、ちゃんと話をして。
Not everything's all perfect.
でないと、またいきなり喧嘩の続きになっちゃうよ。途中からは、あいつも私も本気で相手を終わらせようとしてた。そんなの、なおさらダメだよ。だから話し合えって。バカ言わないで。相手はグリーフシードのために人間を餌にしようってやつなんだよ。どうやって折り合いつけろっていうの？さやかちゃんは魔女をやっつけるために魔法少女になったんでしょ？あの子は魔女じゃない。同じ魔法
Why would you?
と仲良くする方法だってあると思うの。やり方は違っても
She is too pure.
気持ちは同じでしょ。昨日の子もマミさんだけが特別だったんだ。他の魔法少女なんてあんな奴らばっかりなんだよ。
Oh, it was an exception. She was also used as an example.
それでも人を殺すんだよ。次にあいつが狙うのはマドカのパパやママかもしれない。タックンかもしれないんだよ。それでもマドカは平気なの。男とするやつを許せるの。私はね、ただ魔女と戦うだけじゃなくて、
Against everything.
ためにこの力を望んだの。だから、もし魔女より悪い人間がいれば、私は戦うよ。たとえそれが魔法少女でも。
You know what? I agree. I agree completely with that mindset. Fuck them all. If they want to fuck around. No, that's what he wants. That's what you want. No, he likes this. But you can do something about that. There's so many different directions it goes. It's so cool. It's the moral scale with Madoka, but it's also Sayaka's scale of trying to protect and keep people out, similar to what Homura is doing, but at the same exact time, fight. Oh, it's so cool. Nope. Yep. It's kind of life, unfortunately.
正しいことだけ積み上げていけばハッピーエンドが手に入るってわけじゃない。
It's a direct shot at you.
みんな自分の正しさを信じ込んで意固地になるほどに幸せって遠ざかっていくもんだよ。
The harder it is to achieve it after whatever goals they intended are achieved.
たとえ綺麗じゃない方法だとしても解決したいかい？うん。
Do you?
なら間違えればいいさ。正しすぎるその子の分まで誰かが間違えてあげればいい。
間違える？
Okay.
ずるい嘘ついたり怖いものから逃げ出したり本当に他にどうしようもないほどどん詰まりになったらいっそ思い切って間違えちゃうのも手なんだよ。
それがその子のためになるって分かってもらえるかな？
分かってもらえない時もある。
Especially at first, yes.
言ったろ、綺麗な解決じゃないって。その子のこと諦めるか誤解されるかどっちが。大人になる前に今度は間違え方もちゃんと勉強しときな。
勉強なの？
若いうちは怪我の治りも早い。今のうちに上手な転び方を覚えといたら。
It's easier to learn from your mistakes too. So it's easier to take all those attempts and do whatever it is that you can. Just fuck around that and find out, you know? While you're free, exactly. It's easier to be where you're at now, though. To forget.
私
私も早くママとお酒飲んでみたい
Aw.
な。
He's out. He went home.
あら、上条さんなら昨日退
And
院
he
したのよ。
didn't say anything?
リハビリの経過も順調だったから予定が前倒しになって。あれで帰るのかい。今日一日追いかけ回したくせに。お前は
Had to follow it all
家
day.
の坊やなんだろ。あんたがキューベイと契約した理由って鉄塔鉄尾自分だけの望みを叶えるためのもんなんだよ。他人のために使ったところでろくなことにはならないのさ。今すぐ乗り込んでいって坊やの手も足も二度と使えないぐらいに潰してやりな。あんたなしでは何もできない体にしてやるんだよ。そうすれば今度こそ坊やはあんたのもんだ。身も心も全部ね。
Yeah, just go break his shit.
気が引けるってんなら私が代わりに引き受けてもいいんだよ。
Yeah, dude. What a demon. What a demon she is.
窓か
Okay, so shit going down.
さやかが危ない。ついてきて。
So let me go get you, bait you over here. Oh, this is happening. Oh, she might need a call on you for some help. Oh, we might need that. Fuck you.
こうじゃね。
Oh, shit. Dope transformation. No, let her. Ah, fuck it, let her. She's not strong enough though. We shouldn't. We gotta be careful.
じゃああなたの仲間はどう？
Mm.
話が違うわ。ミキサイカには手を出すなと言ったはずよ。あんたのやり方じゃ手ぬるすぎるんだよ。その道向こうはやる気だぜ。なら私が相手をする。手出ししないで。ふん。じゃあこいつを食い終わるまで待ってやる。十分よ。やめるんじゃないわよ。さやかちゃん、ごめん。
What happens when she does this?
まだか。あんたなんてこと。だってこうしないと。さやかちゃん。
今のはまずかったよ、窓か。よりにもよって友達を放り投げるなんてどうかしてるよ。
何なの。やめて。どういうことだおい。
So it
こいつ死んでるじゃねえかよ。ね、さやかちゃん。
right in your fucking hands too is crazy.
どうしたのねえ。嫌だよこんなの。さやかちゃん。
何がどうなってやがんだ。
You're not even aware of it?
君たち魔法少女が体をコントロールできるのはせいぜい100メートル圏内が限度だからね。
100メートル。
You gotta be kidding.
どういう意味だ。
普段は当然肌身離さず持ち歩いてるんだから、こういう
Homer's aware of this too.
窓か、そっちはさやかじゃなくてただの抜け。
What if we get it back and bring it? Does it regain the life? Or is this just gone completely now?
魔法少女にとって元の体なんていうのは外付けのハードウェアでしかないんだ。君たちの本体としての魂には魔力をより効率よく運用できるコンパクトで安全な姿
Like, at least it didn't drop and shatter though, right?
との契約を取り結ぶ僕の役目はね、君たちの魂を抜き取ってソウルジェムに変えることなのさ。ありったけの血を抜かれてもその体は魔力で修理すればすぐまた動くようになる。ソウルジェムさえ砕かれない限り君たちは無敵だよ。事実をありのままに伝えると決まって同じ反応をする。
The fuck did you expect? Oh my god.
何魂のありかにこだわるんだい。
Did this fix it? Fuck you, but great display of Fuck. So fucking good. Actually excellent. Best episode so far. I don't know. I'm just saying that because it's been so long since the others. I don't think so. I think that was so excellent. Literally everything. Like every step of the way. Every conversation, all the things kind of that go between them, between the internal struggles that every character is essentially having with acting or feeling one sort of way while acting or feeling like, say, the other way at the same exact time, on top of being able to have the twist and everything that we get towards the end, learning so much, having these girls now probably come to some sort of realization of the things and everything that Kyubei's kind of hiding, the trust for him probably being at like a complete, like, I'd assume they start to at least really question it, Madoka that is, instead of just thinking this is like the sweetest dude ever. Also just being able to have Sayaka be saved so many times while still not being able to want to have this faith in who Homer is as a person or trust her in any sort of way. So many good things. Madoka coming like firsthand, having to basically see two close, like extremely close people to her pass away is like absolutely horrifying, knowing that it was through your own actions as well. The thing that you literally talked about before, how you shouldn't have to fight each other or cause any harm or things that are unnecessary to each other within a conversation with Sayaka, that then comes to life completely when you take things into your own hands and you try to just cause a little misunderstanding, a little mistake, just something, and you actually kill her in the process because you're not familiar with what all this stuff is, because you haven't asked enough questions and you haven't gotten really to the bottom of it like I've been begging you to for so many episodes, and it all has to come right in front of you as you see it, the life just taken completely, the soul essentially leaving the body as it already was. Is so fucking sick. So many things, so good. This will be easier for me to go scene by scene, so we're gonna do that, but absolutely lovely. Immediately being able to kick it back in for me as well, it's nice, like refreshing to notice how distinctive a style it almost is. So immediately being like dragged right back in the world was very nice for me, and having Homura come to the save once again, being called out too about the irregularity of her magic and everything, and she's really interesting because we learned so much about Homura without learning anything about her at the same time, with even somebody like Kyoko being able to see the like weirdness of what exactly she is and what her intentions are, having somebody like Kyubei come in and see the like, or not knowing exactly where she's from or what her intentions are, or who she is or anything, is so wild to me, because I know they're not contracted in a sort of way, and I know there's like other reasons for her being here, and through the assumption through the first episode and her knowledge of people and scenarios and things up to this point, through guessing at least she comes from a future world, essentially, now being able to like retrace her steps and try and correct these things to prevent the things that actually end up occurring, which we later end up finding out within the episode is something that will probably be coming within 2 weeks. Definitely it gets you fucking concerned, but having Kyubei even be this like all-powerful being that we're seeing him essentially as, not even know who she is or what she is or any of this, is crazy to even think about. And it works really well too, because it leaves us in the dark. It leaves us as he's a character that we've been believing has like been led into all this knowledge and is almost actively working against that exact thing that she's working for, but maybe not having this knowledge that she could possibly be coming from it maybe dispels that completely, but at the same time maybe it doesn't, and it's just a complete difference of what they're each knowledgeable about up to this point, and now Kyubei's kind of cluing in on that. But it's like really intriguing, because even that, as like the person who's at the highest of knowledge probably within the series outside of Homura, for us to be able to like extract as much as we want from them, we learn absolutely nothing about her still up to this point, and it's like we need things from her, but now knowing that we have nobody to almost turn to like learn those things from, outside of if she ever willingly opens herself up, which up to this point has refused entirely, which is like real questionable still, like why she's being so like secretive with everything, and it could just like be as simple as I don't want to expose any of this sort of stuff because like your actions will be altered based on it, and I need to keep it as internal like to me as I can, so I can predictably like focus on what these outcomes like were in this other like timeline, and then I can kind of travel back through and correct those things as I need to, or do exactly as I know I need to. But the moment that I like openly express any of this stuff to you, your actions or thoughts on me or different scenarios and stuff will change probably entirely, and I can't take any of those risks. That's typically like the simplest one. It's like the best way of in a lot of like series that kind of involve that to really restrict the main like person or the person like involved in this from ever telling somebody else what's going on, due to straight like fear or like worry that you know what's occurring, and you're just afraid that in some sort of future or some sort of situation you're no longer going to be able to predict those outcomes. And it's definitely would be worrisome, I think, directly coming from her for not wanting to explain it. But at the same time, I feel like you can almost explain some of the other things that have been going on. Like if you really don't want her to become, a magical girl, maybe the thing that she finds out at the end that just completely is like straight trauma to her, having to find out that your soul and everything is like entirely separate at this point now, and you don't want to learn that at all, right? Like maybe that's something you probably should have just told her at the beginning, and she would have had to, understand that. But I don't know, maybe this is part of the play. It's part of her like realizing and understanding this stuff that then leads her to the full idea that like I like grasping it fully, I think is what I'm looking for. Like she can fully comprehend now, like this is a bad thing, versus like if you just tell her and she doesn't have to like actually go through the traumatic experiences that she actually has. And these work in some sort of way to actually allow her to deal with this, right? To allow her to no longer have to want to actually transform and become what this thing that Kyubey is actually trying to get her to be, I think would make plenty of sense there. I'm an ally to those who maintain their composure. And me to you idiotic aggressors. Which one do you want to be? How do you want to do this? And she's able to weigh her options. She understands exactly how strong of a difference this is going to be, kind of versus the battle with Sayaka and Homura. So she chooses to up and leave. Also, she can't get her read on her, so she's exactly like we are, and constantly pushing into Madoka. Yeah, you're being a fucking idiot. How many times do I have to warn you about that? Sayaka learns about the cleansing a little bit. We get pushed more and more and more from Kyubey for us to go out of our way and find more grief seeds, because that'll likely end up leading us down the path where we can end up being even stronger. And this is Kyubey's hope, essentially, is that he can form the strongest people that he can. So we have to do that. It's also like a nice fallback, because, if something happens and you can't get Madoka, at least you have somebody that you're like training to be stronger, so you have to do this. But it directly goes against everything that Sayaka is feeling and wanting, right? Because I don't want to have to go out of my way and do this to just sacrifice innocent people in order to even obtain these sort of things. Like, that's not what I signed up for. I signed up to protect people. I don't want to have to do any of this. Well, things kind of happen, which she easily has a nice flip too when she gets her conversation with Madoka directly after this too, of realizing I have people I need to protect, and if in the process sacrifices are need to be made, or I need to like do things in order to set that up, that's the value of like where they stand versus others to me, and I need to like weigh my options and operate directly on that, which is like, it's a fair standpoint. It sucks, you don't want to have to be on that, and especially coming from the pure head Madoka, it sounds fucking stupid to you, but at the same time, like, it makes plenty of sense to me. This isn't what you signed up for, but at the end of the day, it's the position that you find yourself in now. So what are you going to do? You're going to use this to protect everything, but then possibly leave those close to you vulnerable, or you're going to focus up entirely on that and yourself, and then maybe leave the others kind of all vulnerable, but you have less of that attachment or direct relation in any sort of way to them, that it might sting a little less if that opportunity actually has to come up about. I mean, didn't have any of that. What happened? Well, some people are just talented. No, you're saying Sayaka's not. Interesting. But who is? Who is talented, and who we can get? That one girl, the pink hair girl that you're friends with, we should probably worry about her a little bit. Once again, he can't involve himself. He can't push for any of this. Not like he's been doing it the whole time, but says that he can't. We can't directly do that, but at the same time, you can do something about that. So, maybe get yourself into another fight, maybe just do so, and maybe have her there, and maybe just ask if you need her to transform, or else you're going to lose her life, and then she can kind of step in and stop things, and then I get what I want. Maybe that's what I want. Fucking piece of shit. I hate this dude so goddamn much. I hate everything about her. I want you out the city, buddy. You haven't even told me. Who the fuck are you? The Walpurgisnacht? How the fuck do you say that? Walpurgisnacht? Something like that? Whatever the fuck that means. I want to look that up and see if it's a thing. Like, see, like if it's a meaning, maybe it's not even a thing. Maybe it's like a name, like the end of the world or something. But I don't want to look it up. The day where it all ends. Nacht means that, right? That's like the day or whatever, or night. Yeah, Nacht is night. So can I just look up Walpurgis? Ah, fuck it, I'll just look it up. Okay, no spoilers yet. We're good. Okay, so it is just a meaning of something. The eve of May Day, on which witches are held to ride on the what the fuck is this? The central theme of welcoming spring and warding off evil spirits. But how does that directly relate to us? Tradition that witches are gathered from across the land for the great Sabbath on top of the Blocksberg. So like the day, like, okay, so maybe I'm bugging. So maybe I might be bugging. I don't know. Is essentially the day where everything is just gonna go to shit? Like every witch entirely is gonna kind of descend upon us, and it's also the day where we utilize that as like our battle against them, and we have to kind of fend that off. Would be my guess from what I'm gathering. Maybe I'm off on that. That's what I'm seeing here, though. So if that is the case, then she's aware that in a few weeks some bad shit's gonna kind of go down. I've literally never heard those words, so sorry if it's something I'm supposed to be familiar with, but I don't think so. But yeah, so it seems like in a couple of weeks shit's gonna go bad, and she's well aware of that, and this is where a lot of magical girls probably likely in that point end up losing their lives, and a lot of innocent people too, and she's trying to prevent against that, or she has the capability of defending it herself without having to potentially sacrifice anybody in the process, hence her reasoning for preventing entirely having like others like Madoka and stuff involved in this, and wanting to take this burden upon herself fully because she thinks she's plenty capable of it without that. And maybe because like we're also working in a scenario, because I don't remember the first scene, I'd have to go back and look, but my assumption based on the first scene, right, is like Madoka like essentially just wakes up. Actually, fuck it, let me just open the first episode too. Let me just say the first scene. I just want to see how it ends. Does does Homura die in it at the beginning? She falls from the sky and then she wakes up. So it's the assumption that I would assume that she's seen a future where she's in belief that she can fully kind of win this without the sacrifice of something else, because it wasn't the death of like Madoka that would spring this on her. But at the same time, if she's aware of her own fate in this, why are we preventing the others from coming into it? Or does that just make more kind of come out and come to, I don't know. I'm just spewing a bunch of nonsense now, I feel like, but okay. We'll just keep an open mind. I don't want to work my brain too much on all this. Once it's defeated, I'll leave the city. So it's like a collective, I guess, or just like a single entity that kind of forms its entire being is kind of would be my assumption then. So I'll leave the city. That'll be pretty hard to handle. What should we do? We should just team up. And that doesn't seemingly be like what's going to happen. This conversation is so cool between these two. The internal conflict essentially that Sayaka has to end up going through here. This was not a normal fight. We both wanted to kill each other. You just want me to talk it over? Are you stupid? How am I supposed to get along with somebody who's sitting around here just trying to kill off plenty of other people, you know? And you might just target those that are close to me or important to me, right? I became that to fight off witches, but the magical girls themselves might be worse than the witches, so we have to be careful with who we're kind of dealing with and what we're doing. Mommy hadn't fought with Homura, that wouldn't happen. She waited for Mommy to get killed before she came to defeat. I don't remember it that way. Maybe that did happen. Correct me, you know, or clarify for me. I believe she was just restricted the entire time, right? And there was nothing that she could do. And then it was kind of let free after the fact that Mommy ended up dying. I believe that's what happened. And then she was able to come out and do something about it. So she wound up just being late. Because if that's the case, Madoka, you gotta tell her, because you're aware of those. Use this power to protect those that I care about. And if you're worse than a witch, you're fucking dead too. And the struggle that we're kind of going through with Madoka not being able to realize that the person in front of her is kind of like altering your belief in what this person would uphold is kind of like slightly different from yourself. But you're also at that battle too, because do you value all around you to be equal? Do you value everyone to be the same? It's a tough one for her to kind of to deal with. And we're just like slowly waiting, and the entire buildup of this is the will they, won't they type of thing. Like, will she, won't she transform at some point and accept that power? Will she come to some sort of thing where she realizes that's not what she needs? If she does, what exactly will her wish do? And they're doing a really good job at setting these things up as we continuously go along. That make me really excited to see what's happening, because I don't even have the beginnings to guess like exactly where we're going to be headed with her as a character. But you'd make the assumption that the buildup of it is to have a climax moment where she cues in on some things a little bit, where you guessed would happen after the death of mommy, where she flips a switch and then she's like, all right, let me do it for this reason. But now it's seemingly like we're just continuously fighting against her wanting to put on this face of like, I'm gonna be this pure innocent person who just like only wants everybody to get along and all things to be good. And it's like, yeah, buddy, that's not the way the fucking world around you is working. So you either gotta adapt to it or you're gonna get consumed by it. Which one do you want? And she constantly keeps getting pressed even more and more and more and more until she has to kind of probably change her ways a little bit, which is really exciting to see how exactly far they plan to push her to get to that point. Fun conversation overall with the mom, where she drops a bunch of fucking knowledge, but essentially just comes down to something as simple as you're kind of young and you can learn to get away with these mistakes and do all these sorts of things, and you can kind of just learn from those and figure out who you are and figure out the people around you and the way of the world and all this stuff. And when you get older and you get to a point where you have lots of responsibilities and people to care for and things to look after, you have to play everything that you do a little safe. But you've lived your entire life playing things a little safe. Let loose, have some fun, figure out some stuff, you know, take some risks, take some chances, and see what exactly comes from it, which, you know, doesn't pan out too fucking well by the end of it. But, you know, you have to make a mistake for her. Well, that mistake for her killed your friend. I'm sorry to I'm sorry to break it to you, but some things didn't go well there. Sometimes when you hit a dead end with no real alternatives, just maybe you got to make that mistake. You got to loosen things up, you know, find some new paths and some things to go down. You think she'll understand? Probably not. Definitely not at first. And maybe she reflects on that in the future if she has the opportunity to. She didn't because you killed her. But if she has that chance, maybe she can reflect and be appreciative of it. At the same time, maybe she never will. Maybe your relationship will forever be shattered or kind of torn apart even further. But who knows, you know, you have to try to be able to get to that point. But it's interesting too, because now with the revival essentially of Sayaka, will she be more appreciative at this point that somebody like Homura went out of her way and saved her again for like the 5th time now? Will she be appreciative of the mistake and the things that Madoka tried to end up doing by getting involved here and kind of fucking things up a little bit, right? Like, will she be able to recognize those, or are we going to cause constant problems between the two of them? Why they let you drink, because it's hard as fuck to be an adult. So happy to go see him. Oh, wait, you got discharged. Huh. Goes right to his home. But, oh, guess who's actually here after she listens to him play. I thought we were going to go like a little route that plays along with her saving of him, where he like literally didn't come to her or say anything after he got out. He's still just playing and doing his thing, no contact with her, and he's like almost not appreciative of it towards her, and just kind of doesn't acknowledge him and like wants nothing to do. And then she's like almost the things that she would act out as like, I don't need all these like repayments or anything, and I just want to see people happy, is just completely gone away because of the way that he ends up like treating her afterwards. And she's like, I literally say wasted my fucking lifeline on this, right? Like my only wish I could ever have get wasted on the fact that you're just fucking not even appreciative of me at all. And it causes like her to go down a little bit of a path, but didn't seemingly come into effect here, as we end up just having a fucking yelling match between the two of us until we end up going and doing this. Kyoko is fucking crazy. Just break his arms. Just fucking do it all over again. He'll love you. Just nurse him back to health. You know, he'll fucking piece of shit. Oh, Sayaka's in trouble. Of course. Look who found us at the perfect moment. That gives you the best opportunity, having her possibly transform. Fucking piece of shit. I hate you. Fun transformation. I thought we were going to get 2 in a row. That's what I was really looking forward to. It was just back to back before the duel. Sick. But they decided to cut us off because Madoka has to jump in between. I love Homura being here. Always keeping an eye on you. Never letting you in this sort of position. Never letting anybody do this. Let's just take this and throw it. I knew something was wrong when she did it. Like, I thought that some bad shit was going to happen. I didn't think she was going to fucking die directly from it. Honestly, maybe I did. I don't know. I don't know why I had the reaction I was at first. Because, like, I was like, luckily we didn't lose it. Luckily it's, like, safe and didn't crack on here. Because if it was on the road, it would have. But, like, she ends up literally just fucking dying when it goes so far. And like the scenes are actually insane, just seeing like her lifeless body essentially in front of them. Like that's fucking crazy. Look at that. Just has to see that. And everybody's just too stunned. Like Madoka being, you know, of course you want to run after and save her friends and everything, but also like, what do you do here? You're just so traumatized essentially after what you just figure out. And then now you have to find out even more information from Kyubey here about like, you literally don't even have your fucking like soul itself. It's like, thank you, I guess, because no longer will the impacts towards my body directly like affect exactly what's going on. Cause I still have my soul like fully like put in this other place and I'm almost like shielded in a way now. But at the same time, it's like, thanks for that. But now I'm just gonna be like this empty shell and I don't even have like this real choice or acknowledgement of like this was happening when it actually happened and I wasn't even like fully aware at all, and I need to now have this thing constantly by my side, like even though I didn't really understand. It's like I would have liked to know this sort of stuff, and it's like awful to find out that this person that you essentially entrusted your life and everything directly to didn't tell you that you're just going to be an empty shell at some sort of point. Like that's kind of a lot for you just to avoid completely and not tell anybody, and him just being like, I don't really understand what's the problem. Like it just makes sense to me. Fucking piece of shit, dude. As everybody's just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. There's no way. Homer is able to make it back just in time though. Give it to us. I wonder too. It's like, this happens, we directly take it from her, but we can give it back to her. Does that work in any sort of way? Like, could we have gone and like dug up mommy's body and put this in her hands and had the soul of Sayaka come back? Or is it a compatibility thing with a specific vessel? Or is that not relevant at all? And now it makes me want to go back and look at the death essentially of mommy and be able to see, did at any given point within it, did she like have her thing shattered and like actually die? Where is that where she got pierced? Or was it just like this other part of her body that ended up like bleeding out and she lost it? And then now we have no longer any sort of like beings, but we still have somebody holding on to this where we can then go find somebody else or like be able to revive it in some sort of meaningful way. Maybe not, but like I wonder fully like going forward, because we're able to bring her back. Is there also like a time limit on this? Like if the soul itself is entrapped within here without like an active like vessel to kind of like go a part of for a certain amount of time, does it become like void? Or is it just like whenever you can just give it to it like a year later if you want? Or does it have to be within minutes? Or what exactly is it? Because like we immediately went sprinting. I mean, I know you have to chase after the fucking truck so you don't lose it, of course, but the fact that Sayaka comes back and has absolutely no clue about what's going on either is wild. Because Kyoko's going to be acting very different towards her, I'm assuming, when she comes back, towards all the anger of everybody being directed completely onto Kyubey here. So I'm intrigued. I also don't really mind at all just the general fact that we ended up having like Sayaka come back. Typically I don't like revivals, but I like it in the sense of like what we did here, where it's like this wake up call fully for all parties involved, but really Madoka here. I think it works really excellent. And I loved it a lot. It was a great little twist to throw on it too. But now you have even more worries, right? Like there's even more things for us to be concerned about and have to keep close by our side going forward. So I'm very, very excited to see where else we go from here. Fucking awesome episode. Great to be back. Very happy with it. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it all, the like and subscribe if you want to, feel free to check out the channel and the comments with this better series. I'll be back for episode 7. Hopefully next week. Hopefully I'm on a good streak and we can just keep being consistent and go once per week. Every Monday is going to be the plan until the completion. I can only hope. Hope you guys have a great one though. Peace.